Biden says the other day, this is after the shooting, he says, quote unquote, transgender people shape our nation's soul in official proclamation. Let me just read this real quick.
Go ahead.
He issued an official proclamation declaring that transgender Americans shape our nation's soul and establish an American holiday relating to this group. He issued this on March 31st. Transgender Americans shape our nation's soul, proudly serving in the military, curing deadly diseases, holding elected office, running thriving businesses, fighting for justice, raising families, and much more. All right, listen, Joe Biden. Transgender people are 0.5 of 1% of our nation.
Yeah.
Okay? Do they deserve to be treated like human beings? Do they deserve to be treated with respect? Sure. But who shapes our nation's souls? Our families. Are people with kids, are people that have grandparents and aunts and uncles and families and kids and American family values. That is our nation's soul.
Yeah.
Okay, transgender might be a sliver of what's going on here, but they are not the ones shaping our nation's soul.
I agree.
And this pandering to the woke left so they can fucking get 0.5% of people's votes is nonsensical to me.
100%.
And I totally understand, to revisit this, exactly why Riley Gaines is like, hey, just a female swimmer over here trying to compete against women.
Yeah.
And you got this dude over here who's 6'5" lurch beating me. It's like, this doesn't make sense.
Any sense.
And to back credit, this shit just doesn't add up.
Yeah, and you made a great point, Adam. Where are all, and I'm being genuine, I'm calling them out. Where are all the genuine feminists? The Lena Dunham, Alyssa Milano, the Beyoncé's, all of them. Where are you at? You have, like, you morons, it doesn't bother you that, like for instance.
Look at this picture right here.
Yeah.
You know how they say a picture says 1,000 words? Like, just look at the picture.
Yeah, like,
the lady on the left, wink, wink.
Yeah.
She beat the other lady.
Tom, here's my point.
So fucking absurd.
And remember,
it's so absurd.
They shared a locker room. All these folks did, and that guy still had equipment. So
he was still packing heat.
Yeah, well, he has. Yeah,
unbelievable.
And Tom, you have children. Pat, you have children. Let me ask you a question.
Unbelievable.
You guys have.
Rob tried to zoom in.
Yeah. So
I got you, Rob.
Yeah.
Rob is like, let me
take it to you.
So here's my point, Tom, because I want to ask you and Pat.
Volleyball. Volleyball.
You guys have children, Pat. You have a daughter. Tom, you have daughters. So Pat, how do you feel? What do you do? You have a daughter, right? Senna, you have your daughter. She works her whole childhood. You have her in swimming. She busts her ass. She's honing her craft. She's sacrificing going out with her friends. No movies, no boyfriend. Her entire youth she sacrificed to be the best swimmer. Then she's about to go to college and loses a scholarship, her place, because there's a dude with testicles that wants to be in there, and nobody says anything. People are praising them. What do you do as a father? What's your reaction? What do you do?
Oh, you're going to have to speak up and say something about it and defend your daughter who's been training hard and, you know, go and do your part to get involved on a board and have a voice and call the people out. You can't sit on the sidelines, be quiet about it. You have to create a voice and say something about it and defend your daughter, because this is demoralizing to your daughter. This is if you don't have that conversation with her, this is very demoralizing. It's surprising that the feminists are defending this.
They're quiet.
But
they're silent.
But I'm so, like, for me, Tom, you wanted to say something. You have two girls yourself as well. So what would you say about what Vinny just said right there?
So I think I step back at it and I look at it, and I've been quiet for a few minutes here intentionally. I step back and I look at it and I say, okay, there is a new entitlement group out there. There is a new marginalized group, and it's called trans. And the media will cancel you, cost you your job, cost you your reputation, and attack you if you go against the narrative that trans is a new, marginalized, discriminated against group. So you have true feminists that fought like hell for Title IX. Title IX, you know, in college sports said that women's college sports should get the same funding and opportunity as men college sports. Thank you very much. And that there were some sports that will be unique to men, football, and there are going to be some sports that were unique to women, ballet and dance. You know, ballet, there's dance, but there's, you know what I'm talking about. So, number one, that's where it started. Right now, I haven't spoken to any college coach I've ever seen. I've asked this question, and I said, should we respect that for whatever reason they are declaring themselves trans? Well, yeah, if that's their individual, okay. But if they're going to say that, and a male is going to say, I identify as female, okay, but still, if we run a blood test and everything, you got your testosterone, everything like this. I'll tell you what, we fought like heck for Title IX to give women the opportunity. All you men that want to compete in Division II of men, you compete against yourselves. Trans compete against trans. Leave natural men, or what they call cis men, and leave cis women to themselves, and let the trans compete against trans. Yep. Because it is not equal. It says, Rob, there was an article, and this is serious, because there is different physiological things. Look at the size of the swimmers. Size 13 feet. Find me a woman with size 13 feet. You'll find one in the USA, female swimmer with a size 13 foot. Men, they're all size 13, 14, and 15, and they have longer arms. They are mechanically superior in the water. They're just mechanically superior. Now, look at this. Trans high school volleyball player. Male who wanted to be known as a female uses a vicious spike which injured the female opponent in a highlight reel. And so then guess what they did here? This is North Carolina, right? North Carolina said, stop.
Scroll down, Rob.
Trans men cannot compete with women because of the difference in size and strength. Let's let trans compete against trans. Have women over here, trans over here, men over here. This guy knocked her freaking out. He knocked her out. This is a man.
Oh. Yeah. So you're saying have a trans league, Tom?
Have a trans league.
Watch this one. Watch this one.
Is that a guy?
No, they're about to. There's another clip. Apparently, that girl to the left is about to get.
Oh, dude, this cat is vicious.
Oh, that's a guy. That's a guy.
Oh, that's a dude.
That's right.
These are all the guys. Got it.
Right.
Nuts and all, ladies and gentlemen.
Here we go. Pow!
Yeah, well, I'll say one thing about this.
The speed, they've looked at it. The speed off the spike and the level of jumping was different. And so how can you say, so what do I say? First of all, I see it as a form of cheating. I see it absolutely as a form of cheating, of using the trans excuse to go win the NCAA tournament. Leah, I'm talking to you. First. Second, the NCAA, after all these years of Title IX, we're completely turning our backs on all the progress we made for women. Let the trans compete as trans. Let women compete as women. Let men compete as men. If the school's got enough budgets, they can have trans team, great. Otherwise, go raise the money for your team just like regular teams do. And I see it as a form of cheating. And so what do I do with my kids? I talk to my daughters. There's going to be cheating. People are going to want to cheat. Don't be one of them. And don't be discouraged after the fact. You're going to be discouraged in the moment. You're going to feel ripped off. You're going to feel emotions. You're going to feel cheated. You're going to feel robbed. Bailey's team for golf lost the Texas State Championship because one of her players was baited into what's called not moving a mark back on the green. Baited on the last hole, and it was a 2-stroke penalty, and they lost by 1. Wow. And I said, you know what you have to carry, Bailey? You have to carry the fact that you won on the course. Wow. All the practice, all the effort, all the energy, all the dedication, all the things, winning your league, winning your region, winning your district, then winning your region, going there, you won the Texas State Golf Championship as a team. That you were baited. Now, was the penalty was appropriate, but that player was baited, and that's not right. And they all suffered the indignity of the opposing coach saying, I never saw it, but on the 17th and 18th green, you had parents with camera phones all over the place saying, baloney, that's you right there. Yeah. What do you mean you never saw it? Those are your arms crossed with your coach visor, quietly looking at your player making a putt. That's you.
Yeah.
And so, listen, the cheating part of it, it's going to happen in life. Don't let that be you. Allow your emotions to come to the surface because they're normal human emotions. Don't suppress your emotions.
Well, I'll just my final thoughts. Number one, shout out to Bailey.
Keep up
good
the
job,
work, girl. Bailey. Let's
and
go.
Little Brooker out there. Prediction time.
So I guess I'd gone.
Prediction. Okay.
That was great, Tom.
Everything. At the end of the day, I think there's going to be some sort of come to Jesus, jump the shark moment where we're like, we can't look past this anymore. And it's not going to be in sports like swimming or volleyball or tennis or golf, where you're not competing physically against the other person.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the sad reality of this is going to happen in a fucking boxing ring or a wrestling match where some trans dude shows up and beats the living shit out of some chick.
It's going to be a permanent injury.
And she's going to get a concussion, brain hemorrhage, die. He might rip her limbs off and beat her with her limbs. I don't know what kind of gorilla shit might happen.
By the way,
but unfortunately, that's what might happen here.
By the way, you're absolutely right. Okay, so for me, when one of our sales guys or sometimes the kids come up with an idea that I know it's a bad idea, sometimes I let them do it, and I'll say, "Oh, okay, yeah, you know what? Go ahead and do it.
Good,
do it, and see what happens." Okay, so they'll go and they'll do it, and then all of a sudden they'll be like, "Hey, you know." It didn't work. I'm like, yeah, that's good. Now you know it doesn't work. So go back to what does work instead of going to. Sometimes you have to allow bad ideas to take effect for us to eventually see the data and say, this didn't work.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.